Hi, I'm Rob, pastor of Calvary Chapel, Turlock. Welcome back to the podcast. Let's talk about Genesis 34 and its implications. It's the incident concerning Jacob's daughter, Dinah. And with Mother's Day and Father's Day just around the corner, I wanted to reiterate the importance of protecting our children from the evils of this world. And although it's true of both parents, I want to put emphasis on the role of dad in protecting his family. Because men, we are protectors by design. It's ultimately our responsibility. Now, from a biblical perspective, being a deeply involved father is not optional. It's not interchangeable. It's part of God's unique and specific calling for us. Scripture consistently presents fathers as protectors, teachers, and spiritual leaders within the home. We see this clearly in passages like Deuteronomy chapter 6, where fathers are commanded to diligently teach their children the law of God when they sit down, walk, lie down, and rise up. Now, that's not passive involvement. That's active, intentional leadership that God commands for us. One of the most sobering examples of failure when dads neglect their duty is the story of Jacob's daughter, Dinah. When the family arrived in Canaan from Syria, Dinah went out to observe the young women of the land in a town called Shechem. A prince also named Shechem noticed her, lusted after her, and then violated her by forcing himself upon her. And when you read it, you automatically think, where was Jacob? Where were Dinah's brothers? Why was she unescorted and unguarded in this pagan city of Canaan? And then, when Jacob did find out about this crime, his daughter's humiliation, he was silent. Initially, he said nothing. He waited for his sons to come in from the field. Now, Jacob's sons responded with extreme anger and violence. They went and deceived the men of Shechem under false pretenses of unity and killed every adult male with the edge of the sword. And Jacob remained passive in the whole thing. His sons went overboard in their response, but at least they were concerned for justice. Jacob was either apathetic or just simply negligent. Jacob failed in one of his primary leadership roles as a father. He did not guard his beautiful and vulnerable young daughter from the wickedness of Canaan. And when he found out about the evil, he did not act. And that failure had consequences, not only for Dinah, but for the entire family. You see, even today, 4,000 years later, fathers matter. We are critical to the development of our children. In the United States today, roughly 1 in 4 children grows up without a father in the home. And the data consistently shows that the absence of fathers is associated with tremendous social fallout. Research regularly finds that fathers, when they're absent, it's linked to lower educational achievement, behavioral issues, and mental health problems. Other data shows that children without fathers are significantly more likely to grow up in poverty, face instability, and wind up in trouble with the law. When we step back and we look at the big picture, biblical mandates and social science align in a striking way. Fathers are absolutely necessary in the lives of their children. They model authority and discipline in a crucial way. They shape a child's understanding of boundaries, justice, and responsibility. And perhaps most critically, fathers represent the character of God to their children. And this serves as a great protective covering over the kids. Ephesians 6:4 says, "And you fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord." And notice, the Lord doesn't outsource that role. He places responsibility squarely on the shoulders of fathers. So what does this mean practically? It means fatherhood is not just about provision, it's about engagement. It's about moral formation, teaching right from wrong, and not just by words, but by example. It's about protection, not only physical, but spiritual protection as well. And it's about knowing your children's character, shaping them to be righteous young men and women in the Lord. That's what God has called us to do. The story of Dinah reminds us what can happen when the responsibility of fathers is neglected. The research reminds us that the consequences are not just ancient, they're very modern. There is a reason that 1/4 of teen girls in America has an STD. There is a reason that the U.S. aborts over 3,000 babies a day. There is a reason that so many of our young people have gender dysphoria. It's because of fathers have failed. Men, dads, we need to step up into the role that God has given us. And we need to be enthusiastic about it. Because when fathers lead with courage and conviction, families are strengthened and children are protected from the corruption of this rebellious world. Fathers, it's time to step up. Let's do our job. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and have a blessed day.